Video game bang, video game bang, video game bang. Video game. Mega Brand. Live from the sack, it's the livest. In fact, I'm putting rhymes on this track to put my guys on the map. Updates, geek news, tech talk, and reviews. They can summarize it so you ain't gotta breeze through. Listen once and you're forever fans. And I'm not saying it because their theme song features Mega Ram, the ultimate source of all geek media. Other podcasts, they just don't match up. Need proof? You can check the archives and catch up. Stats off the chain, we have rearranged the game. It'll never be the same. Now it's time to feel the
bang. What is up, everybody? Cory, Vincent here. Video game bang. Back at it again. Thanks for downloading the episode, watching us on Twitch, however you are consuming this beautiful piece of content. We appreciate you. You know who else we appreciate is the man sitting across from me, Curtis, joining us again. How we doing? How's those Kings doing out there, Curtis?
Oh, it's bad. We don't have to talk about them.
Real bad.
We lost again tonight. We keep getting injured. We're a stinky bad team, but De'Aaron Fox is looking fantastic. He is a stud, and Marvin Bagley is still looking good, even though he was out tonight with foot soreness. But all you guys need to know is don't watch yet. Don't watch. Just tune in to our Kings Update podcast, which we'll talk about later.
Also joining us back, she is returning for her first episode of 2020. We've missed her through the holiday season, but now she's back. Lexie, how you doing?
Good. Been chilling. Played some new stuff. I'll discuss later.
You got some new games?
Yeah.
Oh,
pretty excited.
Oh, man, you're dangerous. Coming in hot.
Coming in hot.
Always coming in hot, and with two front teeth. EmmaSkies, what is up? How you doing? You're looking good. You're looking smiley again.
I was about to say they're permanent now, but they're not.
Not yet.
No, my dentist was very clear to tell me when you put in the permanent, he's like, these are not permanent.
Oh, wow.
He's like, these are still temporary. You will have to get this done again someday. Thanks, buddy.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Temporary tooth.
$600 of temporary teeth right there.
Yeah.
So what's new? What's the haps? You guys were talking. You seem pretty excited about this Altered Carbon show.
Oh, man. I'm very excited that you watched this show.
All around.
You gotta ease into that. You can't.
I'll let Emma describe that for you guys.
I'm gonna stop that one right now.
You guys were very enthusiastic about this show.
Did you never see Altered Carbon?
No, I didn't watch it.
So Altered Carbon is a phenomenal Netflix show, which everybody should watch. Basically about a world in which we've made death obsolete. Mm-hmm. Like everybody when they're born has a chip implanted in their brain and your consciousness is on that chip. So when you die, you can just take that chip out and put it in another body.
In another sleeve.
In another sleeve, yeah, because they're just sleeves at this point. And then, but it also, like, that's kind of the boring premise. Like, they're like, okay, that's an idea. Now we have to build a story around it.
Exactly.
And the way that the show, one of the ways that it does that is it explores income inequality, wealth inequality within that kind of a world.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And how if you're rich, you can live forever in the perfect body and never die and never lose your wealth and just forever create more and more and more of it. And if you're poor, you're fucked. Like,
yeah, you're unfortunate in that case. So.
And there's and then it's just it's crazy.
So
it's crazy.
The only thing I knew about this show is that didn't they recast the main actor?
Yes.
And because they use this premise, it's the perfect excuse to like just rotate your main person. And now they have Anthony Mackie from the Avengers.
Yep, the Falcon.
Yeah, and how did that work out? Was that like frustrating for you guys? Because I get attached to the actors when they swap them out. It bugs me.
It works for the story.
It
but
does.
It's like it's good because I love Anthony Mackie, but I also really love Joel Kinnaman.
Yeah, he was surprisingly booty claps. If you guys, I mean, he was hot. If you guys haven't seen it, watch it. It is also a book, so you can read it too. Okay. I think it's a trilogy.
I think so, yeah.
So you can read that first and then watch the show. So.
Renee Elise Goldberg from Hamilton is in it.
Ooh.
I was trying to think who was the other guy. Who's the main rich guy? Because I recognize him from a lot of stuff.
I'm really bad at names. If you guys don't know,
so
but
it's
I
very
love
good.
the actors.
James Purefoy.
While I wasn't watching Altered Carbon, I'll tell you what I have been watching. Besides my 90 Day Fiance, I've also discovered this new show on Bravo called Below Deck. Have you guys watched this?
I have not heard
I don't
of
watch
this.
anything on Bravo.
Same. I thought you were honestly gonna say This Is Us, and then I was gonna cheer you on. I was like, yeah.
No.
What the hell is Below Deck?
It's a reality show about a yacht and the staff on this yacht, and it's so
We're all like, what is this?
it's terrible.
Wait,
it a
it's
yacht
a
or a
reality
cruise
show
ship?
as in like
No, a yacht, like a private
competitive
yacht.
or just reality
No,
TV?
it's just like there's the bosun, the main like engineer guy. There's Captain Lee, and then they have the stews, the lead stew.
Now I need to see this just because you're that
there's
like
there's a galley.
oh my God.
There's Chef Ben in the galley, and there's always some little bit of controversy happening.
This is reality TV, or is this a dramatization?
Is this YouTube?
No, it's
on
a real
Bravo?
life thing.
I mean, it's
a real life thing.
scripted in the way that all reality
No,
TV is
I
Yeah,
mean,
scripted.
sorta.
No lies detected. There. Okay.
If anybody has like terrible TV show recommendations, I'm open for it right now.
Okay.
Because
I just started rewatching Merlin, which I don't know if
Wait,
anybody...
the movie back in the day?
No, the show, the BBC show.
Oh.
And about Merlin and King Arthur, and I started watching this weekend, and I do not remember it looking so bad. So if you want like a graphically terrible show,
Watch
watch
that.
Merlin.
Oh,
it's a
it's, like,
phenomenal
filmed really
show,
bad?
but it looks like garbage, and I don't remember it being this bad.
When was it filmed?
It came out in 2008 was the first season,
Oh,
and it looks
okay.
like it's from 1982.
Ooh.
And it's on the BBC, so I don't understand.
Yeah, they had the monies.
I don't understand. So if you want something that's graphically terrible, you can watch Merlin.
So I watch The Amazing Race. It's not a bad show, but but on the comment of shows. So I want to audition to be on there.
Hell yeah!
Cool.
Because it's been like my lifelong dream since
Okay.
a kid to
Same.
do The Amazing Race. So just putting
really
that out
put
in
that
the
out there. If any
atmosphere.
casting directors listening to the show, we got
I
your
want-
next star.
My mom and I always wanted to go on as a team.
Oh my God, I'm so pumped. Like
It
I'm
just seemed
so-
like a lot of moving and stuff. Like it just seemed like a lot of effort.
it is an amazing race.
It is. So basically, there's two teams. There's one team of two, and there's 12 teams total.
Yeah.
And you're going around the world for a chance to win $1 million.
Yeah. I've seen
So-
bits and pieces of it.
And if you don't win $1 million, you get to go around the world.
you get to go around the world.
And that's
yeah.
the most important part.
Yeah.
but also
With your part.
Oh, that is the What You Playing theme song.
What you playing? What you playing? What you playing? What you playing?
Now, the rules are simple, everybody. What we do is we go around robin around the table. We talk about the games we have been playing. I kind of want to go first because I want to give another
Bias.
plug to the Epic Game Store.
Okay.
Man, if you are not taking advantage of these free games, shame on you. Every single week, a free game, and they are of choice quality.
How much are they paying you for this?
Not in free video games. That's what they're paying me. I just downloaded one today, and I'm going to make it a point to start playing them more because why not? They're free. And the one that was on sale, or not on sale, giving away was called Horus. Have you guys heard of this one?
No.
I have.
It's like an 8-bit platforming game, story-driven. It was developed by literally 2 people. It was given like 9 out of 10 from Kotaku UK. Escapist Magazine gave it like a 9.5. Super highly rated game. I played about an hour and a half of it, and very, very beautiful. Like the controls, I plugged in a controller. It's a platformer with just, it's got like, it's eerie is what it is. It's a really beautiful game. So I really recommend, if you haven't already, do it. It's free. There's no reason not to. I also started playing a game that I got for free a few weeks ago called Bad North. It's really cool. Basically, it's an island in the middle of the ocean, and you get to control these little army groups, and you're under constant siege from Vikings. So they come in from different angles. You upgrade your troops, and then it's like a permadeath situation. When you lose one of your commanders and his squads, that squad is just gone forever. And the rounds are super quick, only about 2 minutes. And great little time waster. Like when I'm at work, you need to take a little break, pop up window, go through a few rounds, think about it, throughout the day. It's kind of like, boomers will have like a chess set sitting on there. It's my equivalent.
Solitaire.
Yeah. I have this like up, and so when I need to think, I
gosh,
ponder, I
that's the best.
stroke my beard and play this game.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just really taking advantage of the free games on the Epic Game Store because there's no reason not to. If you're basically an idiot if you're not doing this. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Bold statement.
Yeah, super bold statement. EmmaSkies, what you been playing?
I finished Jedi Fallen Order, and I got back into Death Stranding.
Okay, nice.
You didn't beat this thing yet?
I don't think you understand how long this game is. I don't think you understand.
So you still haven't seen spoilers?
No, I still have avoided spoilers.
Okay, good.
But I was streaming it the other day, and somebody new came in and was asking how far into the game I am, and I was like, that's a multi-level question, because I'm 65 hours into the game, but I don't even think I'm halfway through. So I don't know if you want in hours or how far into the story I am. I don't know what you want from me here. I don't know how to tell you how far I am because I don't know.
Are you doing this all on stream, or are you actually enjoying the game in your free time now?
I'm still doing all the story stuff on stream, but off stream I'll do the stuff that's just kind of wandering around doing deliveries, building roads, but anything story I'll wait for stream.
Is this still a big, because I remember there was that big multiplayer aspect where you're helping people build roads. Is everything pretty much that could be built done now? Or
no, I'm not entirely sure how that works still, because everywhere I go, the roads are not already built. There's already supplies in them. You get to a place to build a road, and then you get to an auto paver, and you have to have metal, ceramics, and chiral crystals. And there's already some in there that somebody has put in there, but I've never come across one that's already built. So I'm sure in their games that people have built the roads, and then I don't really know how it works. So clearly there are other people, and I still see ladders everywhere. I still see I got to a place.
Oh, go figure! There's fucking ladders in this game, huh?
I had to climb down a mountain, so that I was all pissed off at myself because I didn't bring a climbing rope, and then somebody had already put one there. So I was like, cool, I'm good. So all that stuff is still in there. I am curious on how all that stuff works actually.
Any games on the horizon for you?
I'm about to start Sekiro.
Sekiro before you go back and beat the Outer Worlds.
Yeah, because Sekiro is going to take the place of Jedi Fallen Order, and Outer Worlds is going to take the place of Death Stranding if I ever finish that. Okay. I really want to get back to the Outer Worlds, but I have so much.
Well, you have plenty of time now that everything good has been delayed, so no good games coming out for 6 months.
Man.
Curtis, what you been playing, man?
I have been playing a little bit more of Super Smash Brothers because I got my Wii back. Leak, my roommate, he was borrowing it for a while to play a lot of 2K, so I would only get it back to play my 2K player on my Switch and spin the wheel to get my free prize of the day.
We have some interesting Smash stories coming up, so stay tuned for that.
Yes,
Are you getting ready for Genesis? Is that why you're busting it out?
I am not going to Genesis this year, unfortunately, but it's fine. I feel like the meta has calmed down enough, and before when I went last year, it was still new enough, and everybody was still trying to figure out, not that it's not exciting, it's settling into the storylines of okay, who can beat who now, and who's truly going to be number one, and who's and then the up and comers that are starting to get there. But I this year didn't seem as exciting, so I didn't feel as much of a need to go. But I've been playing that, and I've been playing, of course, NBA 2K and grinding my face off, and some interesting, they dropped a big patch today that really nerfed a behind the back dribble move that everybody was spamming to get off easy 3-pointers.
Yeah.
So everybody's tripping out off of that, and there was a VC glitch that happened on MLK Day. They did a game of dodgeball where you can also shoot a bucket and get points, and whatever team, red or blue, won, you would get 50,000 VC.
Damn.
But the glitch was that you can play the game multiple times, and every time you win, you would get 50,000. So people were some people got 500K and everything. So when the patch dropped today, which is 2 days later, heck of people's VC was gone, and some people even had negative VC.
You know what? That is so that is shady. I'm of the opinion, if in that situation especially, I know people spend a lot of money on this VC, but if you fuck that up, take the L, bro. Don't. Right. You've already screwed up, especially for this 2K game.
Especially for this game.
That's been so glitchy. You slapped everybody in the face already who's supported your game with glitchy updates. Just let them keep the VC.
That's the least they could do. And it and no one even got and even if they did get it obnoxious about how much money are you really losing? People are going in and buying $20,000 shirts and that have smiley faces on them. Just let them keep the VC. But no, they didn't, and so now that's what we're dealing with now. So who knows what we're going to be talking about next week when it comes to 2K, but that's what I've been playing.
Just to go back on, because I read another interesting article today. I've been really up on the Smash stuff. Glitch just happened, but the Genesis stuff gets me psyched because it's right here in our backyard in Oakland, and the meta is actually kind of stabling out.
Exactly.
At Glitch 8, there was 54 characters represented in the top 128.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Absolutely. So much more diversity.
Yeah. And last time it was like, 3.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Bayonetta,
2. Bayonetta and Bayonetta.
Yeah.
With their other skin.
Or Cloud, or, the same ones over and over again.
Cloud for the most part, yeah. But no, that's what I like about this game. It's much more diverse, and, and they're coming, even with the new players in DLC, which we talk about later, they'll nerf them soon enough to where the meta balance is back out and everybody has to go back. You get a few months with the new guy and you try to win as many tournaments as you can and you have as much fun as you can. Then when it gets nerfed, you go back to, your best players. Yeah. So I think they're doing a good job of the ebbs and flows of putting out OP characters, broken characters, and then patching them and then the meta leveling back out.
Lexie, what you been playing?
So I started playing this game called Chasm. Or Chasm?
Not
I guess it's
League.
Chasm.
It's Chasm, yeah.
I know. But yeah.
You had it and then you were like, wait, maybe it's wrong.
Wait. Chasm. Sounds better.
Which one is
Schism.
it? But yeah, I played that. It's been interesting.
What is this game?
It's like a RPG, but it's one of those games where like if you die, you need to have saved at a saved point, or like you just lose everything, all your progress kind of games.
Okay.
But it's pretty cool, exciting. I like it so far. I get annoyed with it sometimes because I die, but especially in like the caves and things like that. But
what made you pick
fun.
This one up? What inspired you to get this one?
I got it for my birthday.
Oh,
so yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I started playing it. I really love it, and then of course League.
So there's been some changes. They had some updates recently, right? Or
yeah.
What's new in League World?
They buffed a couple of characters in the new patch, in which I think they announced today, and they have a few new skins. And then they also nerfed a few characters. I don't have them all off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But that's in the new patch. And then the season started in January. So like the next season.
So it's time to start grinding again.
Yeah. So January until November. I mean, I haven't got out of my promos yet, so I need to do that. But until then, I haven't really been.
But what everybody really cares about, have they put out any new music?
Oh.
Where's the new song?
Well, they dropped that song last year, and nobody cared.
So this year they used the same song. I like the song, but it's the same song, except slower, and it's like going with the story, which I get it, but it's like, we look forward to the next season's song. Like, that's the hype music, and we didn't get it. It's just last year's song. Like, slow-mo.
We can
what is that?
Yeah.
They'll never outdo KDA.
Oh, yeah. And Legends Never Die. Those two are
I haven't played the game in like 8 years, but
you don't have to play the game. Just
do
know
like
the songs.
their animated shorts and their music.
Yeah.
We got some news, everybody. We had some leaks coming out from Xbox. I mean, we got to see the one promotional image where you get to see, it looks like a tower, big cube thing, and then Emma, you said there was this? It's got to be Reddit. Where
I saw it on Reddit, but it started on like another gaming forum that I've already forgotten the name of. But yeah, somebody had pictures of their dev kit leaked. And the thing that sucks is like the serial number is on the thing, so they know who it is.
Yeah, exactly. What happened, or what is it? What did we learn from this? Because we get to see the back now.
Yeah, you can see the back now. So you can see the ports that are on it, and everybody like flipped out at first because they thought there was an SD card reader in it, and everybody you had to no, it's a debug port. It's not an SD card reader.
Why did people get excited for an SD card?
I don't know, but that was like a thing.
Let me put my photos in my.
Everybody got people got excited.
Let me. I guess like a computer. Like let me edit my videos that I recorded for YouTube through Xbox.
Yeah, that's kind of weak. Any other observations?
You see, there's 3 USB ports. There's 1 on the front and 2 on the back. Which is 3 enough? I feel like I want 4.
Yeah.
What do you need them
That's
for
fair.
at this point?
For all the controllers.
External
you need
storage.
that too.
So
Controllers are
external
wireless, first of all.
Well, external storage.
Some
takes up
people
1.
still like their wired controller.
Okay, external.
A controller, the one on the front is always going to be my controller because like if I'm streaming, I play wired because I've had my controller die in Dark Souls too many times.
Okay.
So a controller, external storage, and then my
that's
wireless
2.
headset that fills up all 3 immediately.
You need that extra one in case.
I would like a 4th slot, but that it is what it is. You got the power slot, and then you have an HDMI port, but only 1.
What do you want 2 for? Are you trying to do to 2 screens?
I want to, I want an HDMI in. So the way the Xbox One works, I don't know what XDI is or why I said that. The way the Xbox One works is that there's an HDMI in and an out, so you can use it as a pass-through. So essentially, my whole entertainment system runs via my Xbox.
So you still use that archaic technology because that was their big push when the Xbox came out.
And it was good. Like, it's a good thing to do.
And, you know, the only thing that made it good, I thought, was the Kinect capability. But then they got rid of the Kinect.
But why can we just talk about the Kinect for
Girl,
I love Kinect and I love Dance Central and Just
was the
Dance.
better one.
Can we please just bring that back?
I like the
was
Kinect.
so much better.
I think they should have kept it. I liked it just for the voice capabilities. But
that's what I still use mine for all the time.
Yeah.
But so when I have like in the living room when I have like the bigger setup that's not just like my little TV, I had a receiver that everything went into, and then the HDMI from that went into my Xbox, and the out went to the TV. So everything ran through my Xbox, so I didn't have to turn on every individual piece or switch inputs every time I wanted to watch something else because it all ran through my Xbox.
You know, I did that too when it first came out because I didn't cut the cord yet, so I had a cable system and it would go out into the Xbox, and then basically that was a huge push for them when they were marketing it. That one E3 where they got absolutely hammered for like not showing any video games, but they spent a lot of time saying that the Xbox One is, you know,
Your
the
whole
one
entertainment
it's
system.
one
Yeah.
thing. You don't need anything else. And so it was going to do your TV. And it wasn't very fast because what it was doing was taking your cable information, transposing it to their own info system, and then
Mine's hella fast.
Mine's
instant.
Well, I mean, maybe years of updates, or you know, I quickly just cut cable altogether and went the Netflix route, you know, which I think most people use, and probably why they're abandoning it. Is that it's kind of like, why are you going to take, you know, a cutting edge console and retrofit it so that it could show you a TV guide essentially. But I did like, you know, Xbox, what's on Bravo, you know, or that was pretty cool. But they're clearly going to just abandon that altogether, which is interesting.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that it's just like a prototype thing and there will be an HDMI, and I want the pass through. Like, does it hurt you to put it in there? Does it hurt you to put it in?
I need that extra HDMI port for them to create a dance pad for Dance Revolution. I'm just messing. But I want Dance Revolution.
Very conspicuously no port for the Kinect, obviously, because they don't give a fuck about it anymore.
Yeah, they're really stripping it all back down.
Wireless
Connect.
You have to like hook it up to charge it. Like I can't. I don't know.
Nothing,
I'll do it.
Nothing with VR too. Like that was kind of interesting because, you know,
unless they just end up doing something USB.
Well, there was talk that they were going to, you know, have a partnership with Oculus, you know, a long time ago, but that really never came to fruition. Their HoloLens never came to fruition. Oof. It's just kind of interesting spot for Microsoft right now, and I don't know if this is the play because it's ugly. The name, like whoever's in the marketing department over there, like, I don't know, bro.
Does the name matter though? Like everybody shat on the Xbox One as a name. Everybody's gonna shit on Xbox Series. Does the name matter? Does it matter what it's called? I know from a marketing perspective, obviously it does.
Yeah, it does.
But from a performance standard, why do you give a shit what it's called?
Yeah.
Like everybody shat all over Xbox One forever. And my God, when they released the Xbox One X, good Lord, nobody would shut up about it. And I'm like, the name doesn't matter. Can you play your games? Cool. Have fun.
Yeah.
Good marketing makes you feel like tied to the product, though. Like, you don't want to have a shitty branded, you know, console. You want it to be clear, concise, and kind of cool, like PlayStation 4. Like, it just makes sense.
And yet nobody's going to talk shit about Nintendo. who has no consistency in any of
true.
their
Hey, I'll give you
concepts.
that. I'm not going to go to
That's
bat.
What the fuck is a Wii?
When I first heard Wii, I
the
had
best-selling
same,
console of all time is what it is.
I mean, the best-selling Wii Sports player of all time is what it was. In a very mediocre Smash
Like,
game.
Nintendo is the one to show you that whatever the fuck you call it does not matter.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
GameCube, N64, Wii,
But at
Wii
least
U
make
was
it-
the only one that had
Yep.
anything
Yeah.
consistent.
I think the one caveat to that is it's got to be clear at least.
Yeah.
This is not clear. What is it? Xbox Series One X or what is the new thing even called? Like honestly, I cannot tell you
like,
what it is.
what is the official name of it? 'Cause
Xbox
Yeah.
Series X.
Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that means there's
Xbox
going to be a
Series
Series
X.
X2, X3, and an
Yeah.
X4 in the
Or
next
XS,
coming 4
'cause
years.
What are the current ones that are out?
Xbox One, Xbox One S, and Xbox One X.
Okay.
They're doing the Apple
I was
model.
gonna say, which is exactly what
Oh,
I.
That's what
Wow.
they're doing. They're
Oh, wow.
That's what it sounds like. They're doing the Apple model. The S.
XS
Max.
Oh
Yes.
my god.
Wow.
Then you're
Okay.
gonna start the 11.
Oh no.
Go
No
down.
Roman numerals. Those confuse me.
I just wish it was clear. I think Xbox One and then having the Xbox One X and then going to the Xbox Series X, it's just too stupid. It's too convoluted. It should be just clear. It should be new. They should have just called it, what was it, Scarlet? Xbox Scarlet would have been better.
That
Yeah,
was the
Scarlet-
original
Yeah,
name
that's
for-
pretty
Well,
sick
Scarlet was
name.
the code name.
Yeah.
They always
But that's
like
still
the
a sick
Xbox One
name,
X
like-
was Project Scorpio. Like
Yeah.
it's the code name.
Okay. Yeah, because I was like, what happened with those? So those were just
They're
the
just code names
Okay.
before they release the actual like when a movie sends itself
A working
sends
title.
itself to the theater and
Yeah.
it's under a different title so people don't steal it.
Right.
Also in the news, Kurt, man, what is going on in Japan? Because as you guys know, the biggest tournament that we have for the fighting game community is basically Evo. And Evo Japan came out with their prize pools, and Street Fighter V, $9,000, Tekken 7, $9,000, and then it works its way down. Soul Calibur, $4,500. Smash Ultimate, no money.
Wait,
You get a pro controller.
You get a pro controller with a
Wait.
golden Smash logo on it.
Wait, like Evo that was in Las Vegas
Yes.
is now Evo Japan, and
The
I'm
Japan
traveling
Evo, yeah.
to Japan to get a controller if I get number 1.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah. Yep. That's why you're going to Japan.
So in FGC, I
I
don't.
the very best.
I think maybe they all do it, but in Smash for sure, they rank the level of competition. So like an S tier event means that you have worldwide talent coming from all over the place
Yeah.
to compete here.
Everywhere.
And this is definitely the S plus tier of S plus tier.
Yep.
And as Zero put in a tweet, the tournaments in Japan are even extra scary because just people who just show up are incredibly good. You get sleepers who are just gonna, every time.
We see it every year at Japan Evo, or every year at like these crazy Japan tournaments. Here comes these kids out of nowhere that's just like, you win the whole tournament, or you get number 2. It's crazy.
And it, like we said, it's expensive to get there.
And I was
Expensive
like,
to stay there.
Even if you win first place at $9,000,
That's what I was
like
thinking.
It's not a lot of profit.
And that was my airfare and my my hotel
Yeah.
for here.
Well,
Exactly.
That's
Maybe my food.
first place. Second
Yeah.
goes down to like 45, and then much lower after that. So automatically, this is really just a blood sport. You're going for prestige. You're not in it to make
What is
millions.
it in yen though? Does it sound more impressive in yen?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like a billion yen or
Ridiculous.
something.
Good lord. I don't
But-
think that's right.
But Evo Japan, huge, tough tournament, and you know how I said 9,000 was the highest for Street Fighter. There's double the entrance for Smash. Usually,
Yeah,
the way a
it's the most
prize
popular.
pool works is everybody pays $10, and then at the end of it, they divide based on how many people competed. There's a bigger prize pool, and the venue takes their cut. Everybody, walks away happy. You're maybe wondering why. Well, the issue is, as people in the FGC know, Nintendo has not been very supportive of the fighting game community. They are like at an arm's length. They're like, yeah, we appreciate that you guys enjoy our games. Sakurai, who made Smash, has gone out and said, this is a fun game. It's not meant to be super competitive and things like that. So they've kind of stuck away. And in Japan, I guess to get a prize pool or exchange money of a certain value, you have to join this thing called the Japanese Esports Union at a publisher or developer level.
Wow.
And that's something that Nintendo hasn't done and has basically not expressed any interest of doing.
Yep.
So they did the next best thing and gave away a Pro controller.
So wait, I thought our tournaments are like 40,000, like prize pool.
I mean, it
like,
can be for the bigger
huge.
ones. Yeah. Like there was one recently that was like 20,000.
Yeah.
I guess because if you're not part of that that esports union, you can only give a prize up to $900, but the Pro controller still it doesn't even fulfill.
Not even a system. Come on.
No. They're not even giving you a. I guess you already
throw
got
in a gift card.
I know it was something like
A
you know,
a plushie. Something.
You get to stage. I mean, like at least invite me to the Nintendo headquarters or give me a job, maybe.
A job? That would be nice.
Like, something. But nah,
so funny.
straight up not giving me anything. And it's discouraging. I mean, ultimately we know, like Cory said, the money you're trying to, because think about all the people that go and they don't even win. They're just, that's like a huge amount of money just to even be there. And, sponsors put up the money and everything. But for people that aren't sponsored, you go and you're hoping that you do win. It'd be nice to break even. It'd be even sweeter to come home with some money in your pocket. You're going there knowing that you're not going to do either. You literally are going there trying to clutch out a win. More so if you're not sponsored, so you can get the eyes of someone that may be interested in sponsoring you. But that's really the only. I mean, outside of course, there is the element of enjoying Japan for what it is, and everybody's there, so you get to hang out with all your Smash friends and meet some of the top players and all that stuff. But the cost.
I want the money, honey.
I hear you.
There, you better pay me.
I'm with you, and that's why I think doing things like this ultimately is going to hurt it, at least over in Japan. The U.S. has slightly different rules, and not to say that those don't need to be looked at as well, but yeah, it's just it's another bad look for Nintendo for all the things that they've tried to do, and they did put in tournament. They did bend the knee, so to speak, and put in things that do make it easier and better for tournament play. They did put those things into the game, but I don't know what it is. It almost seems like pride at this point.
It's Nintendo. Like historically, they just do weird stuff and they move very slow, and they're stuck in a very specific ideology.
Right, which is probably tough for them to face, because that old ideology of not being cutting edge with tech, but making things affordable and making them fun is the reason why they are such a profitable company to begin with, and why they can sell so many Switches, and why the Wii has sold so well, even though it wasn't the best gaming system ever really. But it's probably difficult for them to see how much they're truly in their way, because they still gain a lot of success for the decisions that they do make.
So are you saying the Labo was not a revolutionary piece of technology?
The Crapo,
How dare you.
yeah, it's
So
great.
like for CEO. Is that right? In Florida, I think.
CEO, yeah, the
Is Smash
CEO
not
tournament.
there?
Smash is there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Every year.
So what's like the comparison prize pool for that event?
In America, it's different because we don't have this
That block
Japanese
on it.
esports union.
Yeah.
So it's like they can do
Whatever.
Yeah, Nintendo doesn't care. They don't actively stop it,
Okay, that's not. Okay.
but they don't actively go support it either.
Right.
But they will sometimes, like
Randomly,
at
yeah.
E3, they'll do like, oh, we're gonna have a show match esports thing, and they'll pull in the Zeros and the Nairos and the people from all their different properties and throw and
interesting.
YouTube influencers
Yeah.
who built their name basically off of their games and stuff, and they'll make them Nintendo ambassadors and do all this kind of stuff, but they could be building these dudes as massive stars, but they just don't, and it's not part of their trajectory going forward.
And the other thing that's kind of interesting about it is, as we're trying to get the word about esports out more and show people, it's inviting. It's something that it's going to be commonplace in the world culture. So to try to ease people into it easier, a company like Nintendo could really do well for the parental group that are like, what is this thing, like, oh, okay, you're really into I forget the name right now, Splatoon. Okay, you want to go to the Splatoon tournaments. It could really help the entire esports community by embracing it more and showing parents like there is a good community there. We don't allow toxicity. We do support like healthy habits and speech and whatnot, but they do things like this that I think that's what's really taking the hit over everybody. Smash community is going to be fine because Smash community always been treated bad. Smash community even treats itself bad, so it's going to stick around. They're used to
it. They're fine.
Yeah, exactly. They'll be fine. They'll be all right.
They don't know any better.
But I think it's esports as a whole. If Nintendo could really, just embrace that, it could really help parents and everything see that that there are more positive scenes and kid friendly games that they can start learning from.
What has always crushed me for Nintendo and just FGC in general is that Smash has what so many other game developers and publishers would murder someone
kill,
to
get.
They would actually murder somebody and throw them in a river.
Oh, yeah. It's a corporation.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised by the statement.
It's got double the amount of entrance to not just Evo in Japan.
Yeah.
Just about every tournament you go to now, Smash has double, triple the entrance of the other games.
Yeah.
You don't think Soul Calibur, Blaze Blue, Samurai Spirits would just stab a knife in someone's eyes to get that attention and then foster that community and give
without question.
It's that one person who doesn't even try, and they just have everything you want and you fucking hate them for it.
You're like, you don't even care.
You have this amazing community with the best personalities, and they're all self-made. They all love each other.
The content creators, all that stuff.
They're
Everybody
the
knows
nicest fucking people. Yeah. If you go to these fighting game community events,
can you imagine if Nintendo did for Smash what Epic does for Fortnite?
Oh my god!
Oh my goodness!
The way that the whole landscape would just change.
A whole new game.
That makes me sadder because that is such an honest realization.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's the most disappointing. And then, let's talk about some more Smash news before we move on. They announced the new character in
Cuphead.
Cuphead.
See, that would have been great. That would have been hype.
Yeah.
Not even. Cuphead's a costume for your Mii character.
Oh, lame. I don't give a fuck then.
Yeah, exactly. So that would have been cool. This was one of those ones I think everyone was in the West was like, what the hell? And everyone in Europe was like, what the hell? I don't even know the dude's name. What's his name?
Byleth.
Don't they have 15 Fire Emblem characters now?
They have way too many.
Actually.
And I love and I enjoy the Fire Emblem games. I'm not like the biggest player of them, but I do enjoy them. And those characters are my favorite set of characters in the game. But flat out, they have that game is way overrepresented in this. Like, it's
not even
ridiculous.
Nintendo property.
No, it's not. I mean, Nintendo gets a lot of their games, but it's not an official Nintendo property. They're just close with the developers. But I've come to see, because a video came out. I would totally reference the person if I could remember who it was. But they made a very good point. Actually, it might have been Zero. But they made a very good point about how Sakurai has been a huge fan of Fire Emblem for a long time, and he like in different interviews he kind of goes out of his way to bring it up and all that stuff. So there's some very obvious bias there. And then another thing was I guess to bolster some new content that was coming out in one of the games, or I think it's Three Houses, that Byleth, they put Byleth in the game to kind of hype that up too. So it's kind of a little bit of like, partnering. I don't want to call it coercion, but what else do you call it? Collusion. We can use the other word, colluge.
It was disappointing, especially at first glance, because if you're it's already bad enough you're making an 8th Fire Emblem character part of the game.
Right.
But this is like the 6th one of those characters that has fucking blue hair and looks just like the other one.
Yeah, seriously.
Maybe choose one that looks a little different.
Exactly.
Give us, he could still have a sword and the same moves, just make him look different. No, they didn't do that.
Wow, Beauty's only skin deep, Cory. Jeez.
I mean, I just don't want every character to look like Marth.
Speaking of differences, did you guys see the Pokemon? The new trailer on Netflix.
Oh my god, I hate it.
What is it?
They're redoing. First of all, they're just remaking a movie they already made.
It's not 2D. What is it? It's like a weird
it's like CGI.
Yeah,
it's not even animation. It's not.
And everyone's like
CGI.
Keep the 2D.
Everyone looks like classic. I hate it. I hate it.
Super.
But they're remaking. Is it Pokemon 2000 or Pokemon Forever?
I think it's Forever with Mewtwo.
The one with Mewtwo. I just can't remember which one it's called, but it's a really good movie.
Yeah,
but I just saw the trailer for it, and it looks like it looks gross.
And
I like feel gross watching
Netflix,
it. I'm like, ugh.
Is it that same feeling when the original Sonic trailer came out?
Yes, it's worse.
No,
because it's like it's worse.
Because Sonic isn't remaking another movie that was already good.
Okay.
This is like, this was my childhood. I know how this looks, and now you've taken that and it's encompassed like this whole nother look that I'm like, what is that? Like, what are those? That's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought of that.
One last thing on the Smash thing before we totally move on, but Reddit, they do their Reddit science experiments, and what they did is they went on to Twitter and looked at all the Nintendo posts for requests for Smash characters and broke it into sections. So there was a US, Europe, and Japan. And Byleth was actually ranked number 5 in Japan for like most requested characters, behind Dante, who we thought it was going to be from Devil May Cry, Sora, who overall is number 1. That was the number 1 character from the United States, Europe, and number 2 in Japan from Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
The American one, though, Crash, number 2.
Oh, wow.
Steve from Minecraft, number 5.
Hey.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And then over in Europe, Rayman somehow.
Oh, Rayman?
Yeah.
No way. That's OG.
Apparently he's big in Europe. Everyone, they really love the Rayman.
What about the Rabbids?
Nobody likes the rabbits.
I love the Rabbids.
Are they already in the game? They're like a trophy or something, aren't they?
I'm not sure.
They partnered with Mario for something.
They could be a trophy.
The rumor on the street is that Crash is going to be the next character, but that's exactly what it is.
Is it like the Dante rumor?
Yeah, exactly.
And not to mention, they did say that there are going to be 6 other characters too, but they said that that's going to be part of the second Fighters Pass, but they're all already predetermined. Basically, them saying, "Don't ask us no more. We already know what they're going to be." So stop harassing us.
Next news story, man. Them politicians they won't get off our backs, man. Uncle Joe
Biden.
Uncle Joe Biden.
I liked when he was the vice president and nobody had to listen to anything he said, and now he talks and he makes you hate him.
You know what? When I heard he was entering the race, I was like, you know what? This could be the answer. This
no,
is
he
the guy.
couldn't.
And
That's a whole other discussion.
Hey, I had, I thought, he was with Obama. This is it. We're going to have Obama days are back. Then all of a sudden he talks about no weed. So I was like, all right, that's a major hit.
I love that these are the 2 things that are going to like. He's
no
like,
weed and no video
He's like, I don't give a fuck about anything Biden says, but no weed, no video games. Out.
Yeah. I'd have half of mine to revote Trump in there if it came down to the 2 of them.
Oh my god.
But he got called out. He was doing an interview with the New York Times.
I just can't believe he said. Whatever.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell us what he said, because it was pretty.
I'll just read you the quote.
Please.
I don't understand. I don't even know where to start this. So he's okay. So I'll just read the full quote. Okay. So he's doing an interview with the New York Times. And he says, and you may recall the criticism I got from meeting with the leaders in Silicon Valley when I was trying to work out an agreement dealing with them protecting intellectual property rights for artists in the United States of America. And at one point, one of the little creeps sitting around the table, who was close to a billionaire, who told me that he was an artist because he was able to come up with games that teach you how to kill people. God damn it, I messed up the important part of that quote.
Go ahead, take it again.
Who told me he was an artist because he was able to come up with games to teach you how to kill people. And then is interrupted by the reporter. He says, like video games? He says, yeah, video games. And then one of these righteous people said to me that, we're the economic engine of America. We are the ones. And basically he just kind of goes on. But like, little creeps who make games that teach you how to kill people. How do you go out of your way to sound like the oldest man in America?
Right.
To be fair, though, we've seen some of these game developers, and some of them are little creeps. I think we could be honest.
You're not supposed to say that, though. You are not supposed to say that.
I would give any amount of money to figure out which person it was.
Well, yeah, who was it?
I think it was Ed Boon from Mortal Kombat.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
He does look like a little creep.
Ed Boon is pretty creepy.
And given their history of, complete violence, I do think he's absolutely wrong, though. Making video games is an art form, which I think
Of
is the
course.
most offensive.
Exactly. That's the most offensive part. Yeah, and he's like, this
Yeah.
guy's trying to tell me that he's an artist. Like, fuck you.
Yeah, all the movies I'm sure you watch where people get killed. I mean, people get
Exactly.
so.
But they're artistic.
Yeah,
It's
those are.
artistic murder.
If
Right.
Scorsese's an artist, then fucking Ed Boon's an artist too.
Straight up.
Like it's,
Straight up.
It is a
all
piece
them
of art.
headshots.
Yeah. So
Dare you? Uwe Boll is an artist.
No, I don't know. I would tell you if we weren't blocked on Twitter. Yeah.
What a
So
jackass, though. Honestly.
take that into consideration when you're casting your
There are
votes.
so many more important reasons.
You know,
than
so
video
far what I
games.
found out is Bernie Sanders likes the ganj, and I hear he's a diamond level league player. So
Please research politicians and don't just go off their opinions on video games.
well, it's not really. I don't care about their opinions so much as their SR and their ratings.
I
So
hate everything.
More-
Vote in the primaries.
Yes, please. The next news we have is more sad news. We talked last week about delays for Final Fantasy. We talked
This-
about delays for Avengers, but it came.
I hate myself.
The news kept coming. What happened?
Because, okay, we had that conversation. This was a test. This is the universe testing me because we had a whole conversation about delays, and I was sitting here like, you know what? Delays are a good thing. We should all be happy about them. It's
Yep.
okay. You
Yes,
can't,
you
like,
did.
don't get mad. Literally the next day, Cyberpunk delayed 6 months. I was like, this is a fucking test.
I put it in our group chat when I saw the news, and it said Witcher voice Geralt. Fuck.
I'm sorry. Did you say Geralt?
Yeah.
Geralt.
Excuse you?
It's a hard G.
Damn,
Geralt.
though,
What the fuck is Geralt?
Who is Geralt?
cockatrice.
Have you watched the show?
Geraldo.
God damn.
Conspicuously silent.
Toss a coin to your Witcher. He's stabbing, he's slaying, he's slaying.
I don't understand
In the valley
how you
of
watch the whole
plenty. Toss
show
a
and think
coin
his
to
name is
your
Geralt.
Witcher. He's wildin', he's riding, he's riding. In the valley of plenty.
You
Toss a
can't
coin
ignore
to
that.
your
We
Witcher.
telling you
He's
right
sexing, he's sexing. In the valley of plenty.
Am I-
Toss a coin to your Witcher. He's witching. In the valley of plenty.
I'm done. I'm crying. I'm done. I'm done. But we still not gonna.
I had my headphones.
Okay.
I don't know. I had my headphones off, so
still
I just
need
like
to-
was silent for no reason. I was like, is he embarrassed?
Oh, no, I'm never embarrassed. So, like you had said, I was really sad about this. The world mourned over this one. Honestly, I was just telling the news last week. This one hurt me because
Yeah.
I was so freaking excited. And what sucks is like, it's the same copy and paste that we see from the other ones, except they gave us a little more detail and say that the game's done, basically. Like, they're like, this game is good, it's playable. We've had people putting tons of hours into it, but there's still some little tweaks and polish and just a couple little things that need to be fixed. Was like basically what I took from their release.
But you would rather it be completely done and not turn into Fallout 76. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Let's
Well, the
just.
thing that sucks is what I'd been talking about last week was like delays are good because you want to reduce the amount of stress on your devs as much as possible. You want to reduce crunch, but it doesn't sound like this is reducing crunch. It's just going to be a longer crunch period, which sucks. So I'm bummed about it. That one hurt. I think I put that on Twitter. And I had that like the Yvette Nicole Brown gift. The Lord is testing me. I literally said this last night, and it's like, oh, did you mean that? Here you go.
Yep.
I think the biggest takeaway was that this is going to 150% confirm Game of the Year Cyberpunk, because my only
better.
fear was that the game would come out too early, and by the time award season came rolling around, everyone would forget about it or some other game would pop up. But now that it'll be September prime time, there's no game going to touch this. If they deliver a third what they've promised so far, and just the Keanu moments alone is insane. So that was sad. A little less exciting because when you have this big delay, anybody else, now's the time to announce your delays because it'll just get buried.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what Dying Light 2 did.
Nobody cares about Dying Light.
Dying Light was fun. It was
Do you
genuinely
care that
fun.
it got delayed though?
Yeah.
No, because
Exactly.
the reason why. So all these other delays had dates. You know, and then they're like, okay, we had it on this date, and now we're going to push it to this date. Dying Light came out and said, with no date, people just knew it was happening. They're like, oh, by the way, you know, we were planning on throwing it out maybe spring 2020, but now we don't know when it's coming out.
But do you also think that the delays are because of the new systems? Like they've gotten like word from them to include this as an exclusive or something? I don't know.
I don't think so. I think because all the games are backwards compatible. Yeah. Anyways, so and they're all PC games. I don't think that's the thing. I honestly can't tell you what the issue is. Emma, do you have any ideas on why?
No fucking clue.
It's just it's a pandemic. Everything's.
I imagine it always just comes down to polish. They're like like yes, technically this level is done, but the textures aren't finished, or you know the. I don't know how game design works, so I can't fucking say. But I think it always just comes down to making it look as good as possible, making it run as smoothly as possible, the most time possible to test and test and test and test and recreate bugs and figure out what they are and get them out of the system. And I don't know.
I think it's an issue with the marketing department and the publishers and then the actual devs. I have a feeling that they're putting massive pressure on people to get games out on their deadlines to maximize sales, you know, based off of when it's economically friendly. Or, oh, man, we haven't put out a game in 6 minutes. Like, we're going to fucking crash if we don't put out a next banger. So they're putting all this extra pressure on the devs. And because the devs are the ones that end up looking bad in this situation.
Yeah. It's not the executive that put an unrealistic timeline on them to begin with.
Exactly.
That they probably told them from day one they couldn't hit.
And we've seen that happen before where the devs will speak up and be like, yeah, they put some crazy pressure and times on us when we told them that this is completely unreasonable to begin with. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the problem in the industry. And I don't know. Like, we're all still going to buy the games. So how does it get any better? I just don't know. Make some more angry tweets, I guess. The next thing I want to talk about, Marvel coming out with some stuff. Not great news. Basically, Patrick Stewart came out and said that he had long discussions, quote unquote, with Kevin Feige about reprising his role as Professor X in the new X-Men series, and he's not going to do it, which I thought was a major bummer. Did you guys see any of this stuff, or how do you feel about it? Would you want to see, you know, Fox Professor X crossover into the new
Logan
MCU?
Was such a good ending for him that it would be I wouldn't want him to come back because then it just cheapens Logan.
And plus, we're gonna get a new Wolverine anyway. So why don't you just build up like the whole
don't cheapen the story that you've already told just to commercialize your new one.
What about what they did with J. Jonah Jameson? Though they did that with him,
but he didn't die.
That's different. Yeah,
he didn't die, and we didn't lose out on him because they, ended on a high note.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he's not a main character.
Yeah, that's true.
So basically what you guys said is what he had said. He basically said that he put a lot of time, over a decade, into being Professor X across different, iterations of it, and he thought that the ending from Logan was beautiful. He felt like he shared a touching moment with Hugh Jackman, and he's content to just leave it where it was as an artist. So that leaves a casting hole for Professor X. Have you guys thought of who you'd want to see?
Both actors they've done for live action Professor X's have been really good.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he was perfect, and James McAvoy was a great Professor X.
Would you be okay if they brought McAvoy across?
Hell yeah, I would. I know a lot of people don't like the X-Men movies that he was in, but he as the Professor X is good.
Yeah,
I'm just obsessed with James McAvoy. So
I finally saw
Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix.
I haven't watched it yet.
I still haven't either.
I gotta watch it.
I saw it last weekend. Holy shit, it's bad.
I know. You know what the bummer is my two favorite people are in it because he's in it and Jessica Chastain is in it, and I was like, this could be good.
I've been avoiding
and then I knew it wasn't
to
going to be good.
See what happened, but I need to watch it.
Speaking of
what?
New Mutants has a new trailer for the 15th time.
Oh,
and a new release date.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
No, Arya Stark's in that one, right?
Yeah. Every single trailer for this has a completely different tone. And they've changed the tone yet again and given us a new release date.
They're just searching for that one home run, and I don't think they've found it or can find it.
I also love how in the notes you spelled Patrick Stewart's name wrong. You spelled Stewart like Stuart Little.
Yeah. The Dark Phoenix. The Dark Phoenix movie, I found myself audibly yelling at the TV. Every time Mystique would like speak on behalf of righteousness like she was an X-Men leader. I was like, bitch, you evil. You know, like, you're not supposed to be this golden guardian for justice and everybody's rights. You're supposed to be a selfish bitch who turns into people. That's what you do.
Right. That's what we love her
That's
for.
why I love you.
Of the show.
It's because you cut people's throats and you stab people in the back. You're the ultimate assassin.
And you don't apologize.
Yeah.
And you don't act like you're trying to be a good guy.
You don't go up to Phoenix and go, hey, girl, hey, you look upset. Can I help you? You know, like, no.
Nope.
No, and you're not in love with Beast, who can all of a sudden transform to normal to blue. And just because they're both fucking blue doesn't mean they have to love each other.
That's colorist.
Oh my god.
That was super colorist.
Yep.
Spoilers.
I know.
I mean, that was news to me, and they presented it as information that'd been in the past movies. Like,
Yeah, it was. They like played that up for like the last two.
The Beast and
Yeah.
just because they're blue, like why? That's never happened. And then I was like, so is Nightcrawler your son now? Like,
I mean,
Whatever happened to Azrael, your dad?
it was so
From what'd you call it?
from
The
First Class.
X-Men First Class.
Yeah, it was stupid. It was an awful movie. I'm glad I watched it.
In comparison to the older movies that had Phoenix,
I was say better or worse than
wanna
X3.
know. Yeah.
Oh, worse.
Worse than The Last Stand?
1,000%.
Wow.
That's a huge.
Okay. I don't know about that.
Trust me, please just go watch it
I
and then
will.
just see how many scratch your head, bullshit,
Wow.
stupid moments there are. Oh,
But the cast is so good.
I know.
That's upsetting when you have a movie with like such a perfect cast.
Yeah.
Michael Fassbender, Jennifer
Yep.
Lawrence,
Yep.
Nicholas Hoult, like they're
Yep.
all so good.
Yep.
Mm.
What's
Boy,
his name?
James
The guy
McAvoy.
that James McAvoy.
They did that
Jessica
thing
Chastain,
too.
the
that
love of my
Jessica
life.
Chastain.
Yeah.
Yep. Sacramento represent.
every X-Men movie needs Wolverine for one purpose, even if it's not, to be the hero. But they have these villains that have this kill shot move where they could basically like cave your chest in just by pointing at you. And they do that to a few people. It's like, oh shit, like they're dangerous. They're gonna fuck the X-Men up. They didn't use that on Beast when Beast's dumbass, jumps at him.
Right.
And that's why you need Wolverine, because you can get away with utilizing,
Yeah.
making him dangerous. And then in the next
Yeah.
scene, he's like, oh, my chest came back, or whatever.
Oh my chest came.
There was just so much wrong with it.
Popping like it.
Last thing too from Marvel, and then we'll get into Curtis's comic book corner. Hugo Weaving kind of came out and was talking about Marvel being impossible to deal with. He called it. Basically, all of us were
yeah, I saw
wondering.
this.
Yeah, we were like, why wasn't he reprising his role? It was like two minutes worth of acting. And based off of his answers, I could kind of maybe see where Avengers were.
Didn't he also talk a lot of shit about comic book movies after he did Captain America?
He's that type. He's an artist type. But he basically said he was totally down. I would have been the Red Skull again. When they negotiated me for Captain America, there was the talk of more movies and they would increase in pay. Well, he does his one role, disappears for 10 years. They want to use him in this role because I don't think when they did that Captain America movie, they fully knew how to use the Red Skull or how they were going to bring him back. They ended up giving him the Soul Stone, making him the Guardian Keeper, and said, like, hey, you want to come back and do this thing? It's just voice work. You don't even have to come in. We're going to just CG you. And he was still holding on to his previous
Like,
conversations.
you should pay me more than I got paid for Captain America
Yeah, he
to be
won't-
the main
Yeah.
villain.
Yeah. I think he wasn't familiar with the source material, to be
Well,
honest.
I mean, there's
Probably
that.
not.
I think probably the other thing is what I was curious about is that his statement was basically that they weren't going to pay him enough. They weren't going to pay him more than he he made for Captain America. And I wasn't sure what the timeline on that was. Were they not going to pay him as much because he was going to have a tiny role, or did the Red Skull only end up having that role because they couldn't get Hugo Weaving, so they didn't want to give him a big role, but originally they'd planned to.
I think if it's Marvel. If they wanted him to be a big role and they would pay for it.
Yeah.
I think it was more likely that they changed the dynamic of what he was going to be doing to this like 2-scene voice, because when they were trying to negotiate him, they said basically you don't even have to show up, just give us some voice lines.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen. So
And it wasn't necessary. So like,
the guy they
You
got
don't
to
really,
replace
like-
him was fine.
yeah, you don't really
Yeah.
miss Hugo
Yeah.
Weaving. You're
Yeah.
like, it's been 10 years, it
Yeah.
could be, like, there's that disconnect.
Yeah.
Even if you're watching all the movies, it was like 19 movies ago, so I can't, I don't have a perfect memory, but that sounds
Exactly.
close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do love me
Right.
some Hugo Weaving, though.
Yeah, he's
Who's also said that he is not coming back for The Matrix 4, which is good.
Yeah,
That
was
would've
he
been bizarre.
Was he invited? He's kind of old now. Like I saw a
Damn,
picture of him
Byleth.
recently, and I don't think he's gonna be doing no fight scenes or Mr. Anderson. He's not gonna really.
He wasn't very young when he did those.
Yeah, he
movies,
wasn't
so,
exactly. Yeah, it's all CGI anyway.
Yeah.
Anybody can do anything.
But who
That-
do you
it
Carrie
would-
Ann Moss is coming back though
Yeah.
for the Matrix
Oh, really?
4,
Yeah.
which I don't like. I'm like, you died. Like,
People
you
can't
literally
come back from
died.
death.
I don't understand.
Yeah. Didn't they all? I mean, Neo came back to it, and he's coming back too, isn't he? Keanu. Isn't he?
Yeah.
He died too.
Yeah.
All of you
Spoilers.
died. I don't understand.
Yeah.
All right, last but definitely not least, Curtis's comic book corner, brought to you by Oblivion Comics and Coffee. What do you have for us today, Curtis?
Shout out to Oblivion Comics and Coffee. This week, since the X books got all mixed up, there's only one new one that came out, which is not one that we would be discussing anymore.
What
but
is it, Excalibur?
Yeah, it was Excalibur. Oh, wait, and I think they ended up putting out Marauders as well. But
Okay.
I don't know. We may talk about that on the Krakoa cast. This is the more extended piece of content that we produce for Oblivion. But in this particular case, I went to Stockton Con, Winter Stockton Con 2020. This year, and I, of course, when I go down there, I pick up some comics. So everybody knows how much. If you've been watching long enough, you know how much I love Brian Michael Bendis. That's a joke. I don't really love Brian Michael Bendis, but I bought 2 of his books just because I wanted to challenge myself. I'm still trying to find out, even just like.
What
When
do
people
people
did
see?
enjoy, Dude, that's one thing about me. Like, I will try, even though I'm like, look, people like this. I want, even if I'm not saying I want to like Brian Michael Bendis, but I want to understand why some people do. So I mean, these books weren't very expensive. One of them was $4, the other was 50 cents. So I bought 2 of them. The first one that I read was from the Daredevil run, because this is the run that everybody enjoys with him and Alex Maleev, who I really enjoy Alex Maleev's art, but the Event Leviathan thing from DC, which we were covering, which was their first DC thing together, all the 2 that did Daredevil coming together to do Batman. Yeah. Anyway, I was pleasantly surprised because I paid $4 for this book, and I was like, okay, I don't want to pay that much for it, but I want to find out. And this whole issue was one of the best Brian Michael Bendis comics I've ever written.
So you found what you were looking for.
Yeah. There's no words in it. There's no.
Oh my stop.
So
Damn.
Are you serious?
I am not joking. The whole thing. There is no. And then at the end, it gets to like when they do the little like, oh hey, this is what we're thinking in this episode. They're like, yeah. So editorial challenged us to like do a book that had like no dialogue. So we really had to dial in the story writing with the art. And I was like. Oh my gosh, what are the chances that I find a Brian Michael Bendis book that I really like, but it has no title?
They're like waiting along the way and like waiting for that one word to pop off.
I was
the
waiting
page.
for it. I was to be the defining word. Like I do enjoy Brian Michael Bendis' writing, or I don't. No words at all. So that was funny. I also got another Daredevil book from Ed Brubaker. If you wanted to take a look at the art, you can. Ed Brubaker is one of my favorite writers, and he writes the criminal book that Cory and I have talked about before. So he did a take on Daredevil. I think he came after Bendis, and yeah, it's good. And actually, what's funny is The Secret Life of Foggy Nelson. Part of this got adapted into the Daredevil show. I want to say it was not the last season, but the season before.
Season 2?
Yes. When like Foggy had his own thing and his storyline, and they were following him.
Yeah.
That is from that book. So, but Ed Brubaker, he's always good with stuff like that. I got to meet. I've met Ron Lim before, but I got to see him again. He did a panel too, which was really cool. Ron Lim was the main guy that was drawing. Drawing Thanos for Infinity Gauntlet, which got adapted into the Infinity War storyline. He was there, and I got to ask him. I was like, "So it was you and George Perez, who George Perez is like, comic book Mountain Rushmore for artists." And I was like, "How did it work between you and George Perez, like going back and forth?" And he was like, "Well, George started the book, but he was still doing Wonder Woman at the time. He was writing and drawing it, and then he was just like, 'Oh yeah, I can't do this.' He said, so then they just gave it to me." And
Wow.
I was like, wow, what a way to historically fall into it. But
That's how the industry works. Like, just not just comic industry. That's just how things work.
yeah, straight up. Like, oh, okay, you can't do this anymore. Hey, you want to do this? Now, luckily, Jim Starlin, who wrote Infinity Gauntlet, and Ron Lim had already worked together on the Silver Surfer book, which was the thing that set up Thanos' quest, which rolled into Infinity Gauntlet. So they already had a working history. I got this, and I got Ron Lim to sign it, which was pretty cool. So I get to put that into my thing. And then my favorite guys, Kenneth Rockefort, I still got to meet him, but my 4 favorite artists, with the exception of Brian Stelfreeze too, all happen to be from Northern California. Ramon Villalobos, how am I forgetting? Justin Greenwood, and Nick Dragata of East of West. So they were all there. I got to hang out with them. Yeah, I know. I got to talk to them. They did a panel, which was really cool. So I got to hear them talk a little bit more. And I bought some books from Justin. I got the next installment of Stumptown, which is still a TV show. They even put a sticker on it now.
How's that TV show doing? Because that was new, right?
It's doing good.
Is it good?
Yeah, and like it's different enough from the comics, which it needed to be. But like I was talking to Justin because he's an executive producer on the show. Oh shit! And he's like, no, like we got a good team together, and all of the changes that they make from the comic to the show, he said totally necessary, totally makes sense. And he said for us, it's nice because we only have to check in on them. We've made sure that we found good people. We checked in with the changes that they wanted to make. We were like, okay, we're cool with those. They make sense for the show. And he said I could pretty much just step back and I just go down to LA, to like go on set and check in on people and make sure everything's running smooth. Damn. So I was like, okay, cool. So he gave me that, of course, signed it for me. And then Stringers was a book that he worked with Mark Guggenheim on. Mark Guggenheim, co-creator of the Arrowverse. Yeah, and everything. And he wrote some scripts and stuff like that. But anyway, this is their book together, which it's like Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal, but way more high octane. So these guys are like adrenaline junkies down in LA. Like every time the radio goes off and some crazy shootout or something, or some robbery or hostage situation is available, they go and they check it out, and it's pretty wild. And Justin gave me like an actual panel that he did out of there. Aww. Yeah, just straight up gave it to me, and I was like, for real, bro? You be charging like hundreds of dollars for this.
Stockton Con delivers.
Stockton Con totally delivers.
They deliver, and I like the pro wrestling stuff. Who'd they have on that
Dude,
end?
So it was super cold. So the wrestlers weren't there this time.
Nope.
What? Yeah, they weren't there this time. But, I always bring gifts when I go. So this Ramon Villalobos Daredevil, since Emma likes Daredevil. And Charlie Cox so much. One for her. And then this is, Ramon said this is Wonder Woman, but he took like themes from Salinas. Selena.
Salinas with an S?
Selena.
What?
Yeah. So I got this one for you.
Oh,
yeah.
Selena. This bumper was ripped off by Salinas.
Yeah, exactly. Which is so funny because I used to live in Salinas, California. So every time I think of I lived in Salinas when Selena passed away, and they used to play her music so much. So I was
triggered.
I know.
This is amazing. Thank you, Curtis.
You know the new Selena movie?
I haven't seen the new one.
No, are you gonna see the new one?
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're doing a new one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
is it a movie or a show? It's a movie?
Holy
then I'm down.
Just to let everybody know, in the NorCal area, if you want to come meet the Video Game Bang, hang out, we are doing Trivia Night. We are continuing with Oblivion Comics and Coffee in partnership with the Filmlosophers. Next month, February 10th, we're going to do Netflix themed. So you could expect questions from Stranger Things. You can expect questions from The Witcher. We're going to do sections.
Are there any questions about Geralt?
I don't know what. Isn't that how you say it?
Geralt.
No.
They say it every episode.
I know.
Geralt.
I don't know these names.
Geralt.
Man. I don't understand. EmmaSkies, what's your stream schedule looking like?
I have no idea. Follow me on Twitter at EmmaSkies. I always post when I'm going live. I don't know what I'm doing this week.
And Curtis, where can people watch all of your Sacktown breakdowns and all of your comic book podcasts?
Yeah, the Sacktown Breakdown on Twitch. You can find us. Yeah, it's sad. But yeah, come cry with us and yell about why we aren't as good as we were last year when we were better. And the comic book stuff, Thinking Critical on YouTube. Come check us out. We're talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. #1 tomorrow because they're rebooting it again because #1 sell comic books, but it is Al Ewing, and I would always talk about the Ultimates, that book. I was like, oh, it's all cosmic and all stuff. He is the guy that's taken over to write Guardians of the Galaxy, so he's gonna bring all that cosmic stuff obviously to Guardians of the Galaxy, so it could be pretty good. Come check it out.
Lexie, what you got on the horizon?
if you guys want to see geek culture, just follow me on Twitter at LexieJPR. Haven't started streaming, but we'll figure out something.
And expect to hear a lot more of Lexie on the Video Game Bang podcast in 2020. For me, shock2020.com. Go buy some fucking tickets. Business is about to pick up. We're going to have some really, really big announcements for the event coming up in the next few weeks. I'm super excited about it. VGB fans can have a little extra vested interest. Some people I've been talking to from VGB Past that I cannot wait to formalize, but please go to shock2020.com and buy your tickets. It's not even that expensive, like $40 for a full day of entertainment. We're gonna have an outdoor section that's like got all these attractions. You can meet players, and then you could watch esports at its highest form. If you've ever wondered what it's all about and wanted to see it, the lights, the excitement, it's going to be a really fun event. So please, shock2020.com. If you buy tickets now, you get free Overwatch League tokens, and you can pick up the new Shock skins, which have been wildly popular. We've been excited about that. But that's it. Take it easy, guys. Thank you so much for Lexie, Curtis, Emma. My name is Cory, saying you've just been banged.